is Dennise Williams, and I'm your host of Breaking Barriers with Love. Now, this program is dedicated to shining the light on the social sector, the social economy, and the community of special needs. Now, we want to open the doors on people, purpose, process, and performance. Because, you know, it's not just about making money, it's about making a difference. And there's so many people that give up their time, talent, and treasure to make the world a better place. Now, the social sector and the special needs economy makes up about 10% of the population anywhere in the world. So at least 10% of the world needs our help, okay? And, you know, the families and organizations that support the social sector and the special needs community, they work tirelessly, you know, to protect persons who need our support. Now, in this conversation, we're going to highlight the work done by stakeholders in the social sector, the special needs community, and we want to really highlight how you, the audience, the viewers, the participants, our friends on social media, how you can reach out and support these featured organizations. We want to give you the tools to know where you are going, learning how to get there, and the tools to support your journey in building up our community and our country, okay? So we're gonna join hands and we're gonna break barriers with love. Now, get your pen and paper out. Get your digital note-taking device out. And we're gonna learn how you're gonna give back. And so we're so pleased to have Miss Nora Blake, manager of the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange, with us. Welcome.
Thank you for having us today.
Okay, now tell us, why is the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange important to the social sector?
Okay, the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange, a subsidiary of the Jamaica Stock Exchange, was envisioned and set up to mobilize resources into the social sector because of the felt need to facilitate sustainability in the social sector. Meaning, from we were all born, we all know of very good social work being done. But the number one challenge that they've all had and continue to have today is, where is our next set of funding coming from?
So let's be clear. The Jamaica Social Stock Exchange, when we say mobilize resources, basically you are a platform, an organization that pulls resources
from the market,
from A over here,
the market,
and pulls it to the social sector
where the demand is. So stock exchange is a market, like Coronation. Somebody's supplying the food stuff, and somebody has a demand for it, they go and get it.
So it's like, in Coronation we buy tomatoes, somebody buys the tomato, somebody sells the tomato, but the market itself, the Coronation market is the place where they meet.
Right, so the JSSE, the Social Stock Exchange, was set up as this new market in our financial sector for social capital.
And when we talk about sustainability, what we're really saying is the average charity is founded by somebody who cares.
Oftentimes by them and their family.
Okay.
And their friends in church who started the work.
But that means unless those persons have unlimited resources, there's always a challenge to pay
to continue
for the
to
projects
do
that's needed.
So
to
do the work.
If it's a back to school, when is the next funding to pay for the fee? If it's medical, where is the funding going to pay for the surgery, the eyeglasses. In fact, let me put on my eyeglasses, right? If it is transportation and the organization needs a van, who's going to pay for the van?
Yes, because there is a lot of dependence on philanthropy, on giving. And I might add here, for your viewers, that the Social Stock Exchange will operate more than one marketplace. Meaning we are currently operating on the market that is a giving market, meaning you're donating. That's the way we're going to finance those projects that come to us.
Right.
And in due course, we'll be able to operate a second market where the social business, if there is such a social business that exists, needs equity financing to continue its operation or to start up even as a social business, meaning the main reason you exist is you have a mission, a social mission, not primarily for profit. But because you're a business, you're going to be trading in goods and services. So you will, we hope, have a surplus at the end of the day in which you'll be able to reward your social investors with either profit or dividend on their, on their equity that they've bought into the company. So the whole idea of that market that we have set up is to mobilize resources into the social sector so that all this good work can continue and it will bring about the impact that we want for the projects. So it's not in a vacuum, it's not a black hole, because on the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange, not only are we mobilizing resources, we're monitoring the use of funds. We're measuring the impact of the work that is done. And we're doing the reporting right there on the exchange. So at any time, there's accountability, there's transparency for the investing social.
All right, a little controversy here on Breaking Barriers with Love. The controversy, Nora, is why do I need a social stock exchange? Why couldn't I just directly write a check to the charity I want to give to? What's the purpose of you?
Can I tell you that one of the main advantage that I have seen, even in, I would say, probably the most mature, most successful project that we have assisted on the exchange, is the maturity that we have brought to them in terms of their capacity to manage their project reporting, and in particular, the financial aspect. Because remember now, we're modeled off of the stock exchange. Traditionally, the social sector is a little more informal. If you come to the stock exchange, you have got to have a good business plan. You have got to have a proposal for that business that makes sense, that would make people invest. And of course, you're going to perform. It's the same rigor, quote unquote, that we want to bring to the social sector for its own sustenance, for its own sustainability, for its own attractiveness. So it's not just a matter of putting money in a black hole anymore and I don't know what happened to it and I gave one time. Because you see, what we want is sustainable giving, sustainable investing, so that this sector of the economy can grow. Because not only should I say can grow, it needs to grow because the needs are so great.
All right, wow. So for the persons who say, I don't know why they need a social stock exchange, what we're saying is that it is structure, transparency. So you don't want a charity that's a mom and pop, so that when the persons who originally had the idea, when they make a transition, the charity dies.
And even if they live forever, we have a trajectory on the Social Stock Exchange that can facilitate a not-for-profit to grow, to enter another market as a social business where you can now pull funds from the market in the form of equity, a more secure form of funding. And of course, there is the regular stock exchange that if you so wish to, as you grow, you could enter the junior market. So what we're doing is innovating the whole social sector in terms of how they think about financing and the possibilities for growth.
So again, a little controversy.
No problem.
The social sector has done really has been a lot of prayer and a lot of promises.
Prayer and promise.
Prayer and promise. And so nothing is wrong with prayer, but it's not sustained. Well, let me say, look, I'm going to get in too much trouble.
Not too much
what we mean
Yes.
is you can't do a monthly report based on just prayer
Right.
and promise.
So you have to have like your cash flow.
Cash flow, very
You
important.
have to have your income statement.
Income,
We're
yes.
not so heavy on profit and loss because a lot of the projects are not for profit.
Correct.
But when you get into the other market where you're operating a business to generate a surplus, you will certainly need to do your profit and loss and so on. Yeah?
Right.
But the thing is, there is a standard
Yes.
for doing business
Yes.
that makes you effective and efficient.
And it makes the charity attract more money.
And this is it, because you're now building confidence.
Yes.
You're building trust.
Yes.
Right? And in particular, when you speak about our diaspora, because they're not here to walk over to Charles Street or to go down to Trenchtown. They need somebody or some entity here that can assure them that when I send the money to this project, it is a real project.
Yes.
That real work is being done.
Yes.
And I have evidence of it. So you
Yes.
go on the stock exchange, you can click on your project, you see the reports, you see the visuals, the photos, the videos of the project. So you can actually be tracking and monitoring. And in doing that, you know, the investor will be more confident to continue
Yes.
to give.
I like the word investor in this context.
Yes.
Because
the
a
social
lot of
investor.
Social investor, but no, let's break it down because here we go back again with controversy, Miss Nora. The controversy, here we go, because with the first controversy is why do you need a JSSE? And we put that to bed by saying it's a marketplace that brings structure.
Yes.
Then we looked at, well, why do I even, you know, need to put my charity on it? But now we're saying we give you standard. We lift you.
Yes.
Okay. Now, here's the next one. And of course, we talked about the controversy that a lot of charities rely on promises and prayers, and they're not able to, keep getting money
To plan
in
and
so they
to
can
execute
Okay.
in what we call a sustainable way.
Right. So another controversy here is looking at the fact that if I am an investor
Yes.
and I put my money in something, I want a return. I want some cash. And now on the social platform, what you're saying is I am investing in a better
Jamaica.
community, a
Yes.
better
Yes.
life, a
Yes.
better experience, things that I cannot touch.
Correct.
But Nora, I must give my money to
Yes.
something that I can't touch.
Yes, because we all live here. Jamaica is a boat, a ship. We're all in it together. So it doesn't matter if the stock exchange is doing well.
Yes.
So only the people who invest in the stock exchange or who own big business are doing well. That's not the vision we have for Jamaica. Our vision is to see Jamaica as a place that we all want to live.
Right.
Because you have structures that are keeping the environment.
Yes.
That you have a safety net, that the people are able to have human development, the human factor development is taking place, that there's security.
Yes.
And so we are all able to give our best to build the country that we all call home.
Right.
So it matters to all of us.
Right. So you're saying to me that as a social investor,
Yes.
which is different from maybe
Financial,
a
let's call it,
financial investor.
on the regular.
So I have to wear a different hat. So as a social investor, my concern is my community.
Yes.
As
And
a
there is a return
Yes.
on that investment.
Right.
And may I just say this? The calculable value of that return is called the social return on investment as against the ROI, the
Which is the
return,
return
on
on
investment
investment,
for
right.
regular investment. And there is not any that I have seen or know of, and we can check the university for the research, where the SROI is anywhere as low as you get for ROIs. Social return on investment brings such a huge return that if more people knew, and we figure this will happen as we continue to introduce the concept and show on the exchange the values that you're getting, that people will be encouraged.
Yeah.
Because what you're talking about, you know, is that instead of it costing us, say, $1 million to send somebody into a juvenile facility, and feed them and whatever. That $1 million, if it were spent in the development of that human being, and then the output that you get from that human being is measured, your social return far outweighs any return on the stock exchange. Most people don't even know that.
Right. So what you are saying to me, Nora, let's be very clear. Over here, I am a financial or an economic investor. And my return on investment
is a straight ROI.
I am looking to beat inflation. I am looking some cash in hand.
Dividends.
Over here, I have a social return on investment.
Yes.
And when I invest in a human life,
yes.
When I invest in a community,
yes.
When I invest in my nation,
yes.
Because of the social stock exchange, I can see where the money is going.
Yes.
I can see how the person, the community, the nation is better off.
Right.
Because of what I've done.
Yes.
There isn't really a percentage over on the economic side that can match.
Nothing matches the return
on a
human
life, on a nation, on a community.
And this is a mathematical computation, you know. This is not a subjective thing, and
right.
we're saying, oh man, yes, about a 60% return. It is actually a formula, mathematically proven formula. And in addition to social return on investment, there's also an index that we have access to that we'll be able to measure how good we're hitting the targets for the 17 Sustainable Development Goals.
By the United Nations?
Yes.
Okay.
Right? So you're not operating in a vacuum and you're not sure if, when I give money, if it makes a difference. This framework, this ecosystem that we are facilitating here is giving us that clarity of vision and understanding, and ultimately will cause us all to be more confident and trusting in putting money into the social development of the country.
So tell me about some of the projects that you're asking investors to visit your website.
Yes.
So give me the website and then give me the project. Because we want persons to feel comfortable.
Yes. Thank you for that opportunity. Our website on the World Wide Web is jssceja.com. Easy to remember. So if you go on now, you click on projects, and you will see coming up on your screen the projects that are there that will attract your investment, meaning your donations. We have 3 main projects for the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange, meaning projects that we have vetted and selected and we have put to market and we have been funding. All 3 of them have already, in their first phase, been funded, but they still need additional funding to bring the project to completion. We have 2 projects in particular that excite me beyond end because they are interventions, social interventions in the schools. And the problem that they are seeking to alleviate, to solve, overlap in terms of crime, violence, which everybody, I think, here and abroad accept that crime and violence is our #1 problem. Yes, we have health and we have education, but crime and violence keeps us awake. But the roots of that problem is something that you have to deal with early. So the interventions happen in the school. So we have a project called Stop the Violence, Love Changes Lives. In that project, they're in the schools. They're piloting 2 schools right now, Haile Selassie High School and Donald Quarry High School are the 2 pilot schools right now. So the project goes in, and basically what they're seeking to do is to reverse antisocial behavior. They use drama and they use music a lot in terms of the vehicle to communicate.
Yes.
And the response and the effect that they're having has been phenomenal. I've seen the children speaking. In fact, there's one young man in particular who was saying, you know, he so appreciates the program because it's making him into a good leader. And then I thought, wow, this isn't even a leadership training program, and see what he's getting out of it. And that's what the country needs, right?
Yes.
For us to be producing the future leaders that have character.
Correct.
Right? So you're talking about a lot of the issues that stem from stuff like bullying in schools, stealing, even rape. There is the inability to resolve conflicts, and even abuse, physical abuse of seniors, teachers,
Yes.
and each other. So these are being tackled in the school while you have a captive audience. And this program in particular, I love it so much because we also assist them in teaching, imparting financial literacy
Yes,
training.
very important.
Yes. So this is now piloting just in 2 schools. So can you imagine if we had this spread across all the parishes in all our schools ultimately? And so the trajectory that you see the children on now, it's conceivable that
Yes.
by the time you get to 2030,
Yes.
the next 10 years even, not to mention 20 years time,
Yes.
it would truly be the Jamaica that we want to see and not what we're seeing now. Then we have another one in the schools. This project initially, it is called, it's a Shalom project.
Yes.
It's a mental health and wellness
Okay,
program.
Shalom.
Yes.
All right.
Right? The idea is that a lot of what we see the children again acting out. I mean, every other day, I believe, you get a video
Yes.
of children fighting in
Yes.
schools, fighting in the bus park, being rude to teachers and all of that.
Yes.
I think a lot of it is based on mental, health that needs adjusted. So like this program, it has been adapted for schools. Initially, it was meant to train trainers in the communities, and they still will do that. But right now, it has been adapted and is in 10 schools. In this program, you're empowering our young people to deal with conflict. So imagine, Dennise, instead of you see a video with a fight happening with 2 students, instead of everybody videoing, there would have been some of them who are trained in conflict resolution to have precipitated the fighting. That's what you're looking at, that's how real it is. It also teaches them stress management.
Yes.
Teaches them the art and science of happiness.
Wow.
Which is a course that is actually they teach at the Michael University. And of course, we've had a little uptick in the incidence of suicide.
Yes.
There is the issue of suicide prevention
Yes.
that they teach as well, and basic counseling.
Yes.
Imagine this level of empowerment to our
Okay,
children.
Stop right there, Nora. A lot of people say, but empowerment? Why should I invest in empowerment? If you want to do a training on your own, why would the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange care about empowerment of, so what we talk about, like 12 schools between the 2 projects?
Yes, between the 2 projects, just 12 schools, and
12
we have thousands of schools
Yes.
in Jamaica, right?
So why should I think I should give money, not just one time, but maybe even monthly? Why should I donate? Why should I visit your website and donate for empowerment?
I'm going to ask you a question to answer.
Yeah.
Which one of your listeners
Yeah.
or you
Yeah.
could tell me that you're impervious to the crime statistics?
You mean you're asking me if I care?
No, does it affect you? Even if you don't care,
Yeah.
doesn't it affect you in a negative way?
Maybe, maybe not.
Well, I don't know if there's anybody who can really say maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe you're just playing the devil's advocate. But the truth of the matter is that the statistics is there to
Yeah.
show how much impact this is having on our
But
GDP.
I could just migrate. I don't have to give any money. I
well,
could just leave.
well, we're still a democracy.
Yeah.
You're still free.
Yeah.
And when you go, you could remit and send back.
No, but I'm just saying.
I'm just
personal-
kidding you.
I know, but
yeah, and
personal-
you're gonna have a level of drag
Yes.
in anything that you do.
Yes.
But I think
What is your encouragement to difficult persons like me?
I would say pause.
Pause.
Yeah, and let's look at the statistics. Let's look at the fact. There are a number of our human development indicators that have gone down, and it has affected the overall development of the country. Who wants to live in a country with a low GDP, with a low per capita income, where you can't fix roads, where you don't have enough security, members of security forces and the equipment and whatever that you need, where you don't have a certain quality in your workforce that you're
Right.
working with? Who wants that?
Right.
Hence, we have a vision for Jamaica.
Right.
And we want to
And you're
help
asking
facilitate
me
that.
to invest in the vision.
Yes.
Wow. So, the truth is, I really need to open my mind to the concept of social investing
Yes.
as opposed to economic
and
investing.
nothing, and they're not mutually exclusive.
Right.
Nothing stops you from continuing to invest in the market for your own personal returns. But if you, I think the humanity of it all, that we're all in it together. Like the Sustainable Development Goals, Jamaica is just one of the 167, I think, nations globally that have signed on. Because both developed and developing countries all have developmental needs.
Right.
So you can't escape it, even if you migrated.
So remember that we're here about, you know, breaking barriers with love.
Yes.
And we look at really 4 areas. So we want to make sure we just drill down and reinforce. So in terms of the people, social investing says donate on a regular basis into a better community, a better nation, and ultimately a better world.
So what you're talking about there is a triple, well, let's say double for now, double bottom line. So you're investing not just for profit.
Right.
You have layered it now to people.
Right.
So that is a double bottom line.
And then the purpose, well, of course, I can visit your website and see the purpose of the individual projects.
Yes.
But the overall purpose of the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange is to be that marketplace where buyers of social investment who care about their community and their country come together with the sellers of the service.
Right. So these people who have the projects, who have the heart, who want to see the change, who say, we're willing to do this. I don't necessarily want to go and own a merchant bank. Right. What I want to do is I want to see development happening in the environment. I want to keep it pristine so that generations to come, they will have clean water to drink. I want to see that, you know, the level of disenfranchised young people is at a minimum. I mean, you'll never eradicate poverty, I think, or crime anywhere on the earth until whenever that time comes.
Right.
But certainly the hope and the effort is towards a downward trend, and your human factor development going in the upward direction.
And the process is transparency, meaning that when persons are accepted as a project on the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange,
we put our stamp of approval on it. You can have that assurance that we have vetted it. Yes.
Okay. And then last but not least,
when the money comes in,
performance reports that
your money that has come in is accounted for.
Yes.
So monthly there's reporting. Yes. Quarterly, there's financial reporting. And let me just point out that for this financial reporting in particular, in the social sector, it's not such a norm. And so what we do is we've created templates and we've facilitated training so that there is a standardization to the process of reporting, and we have facilitated it so that it becomes a part now of the social entrepreneur or the the people in the social sector, for want of a better word, who are probably not so attuned to financial reporting. But because we are the stock exchange, we're about business, we're about, we are the ones who monitor the companies that are listed on the exchange. So too, we're monitoring every dollar that is invested for social causes that are on the social stock exchange.
Yes. Now, in breaking barriers with love, we're looking at people, purpose, process, performance, and the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange ticks off all 4. So before we wrap up, I'm going to ask Miss Nora Blake, the manager of the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange, to give us the website.
It's jsscja.com on the World Wide Web.
All right.
Very easy to access, always up, 24/7. And when you go on our landing page, right up at the top, the first box that you will see is how to donate. If you wish to donate, you pull out your Visa card or your PayPal and you make your donation. Click on which, it's just like shopping.
Yes.
On Amazon or wherever, you click on projects and you'll see the menu.
Yes.
And then you get your cart and you decide how much you want to invest in each project. And it's as simple as that.
Well, thank you so much, Nora, for being on Breaking Barriers with Love. My name is Dennise Williams. I'm your host, and I'll see you again.